There's a new enclave, the Mindwardens, as well as an Origin to play as them. We can also start as psionic machines, and there's a new Civic, Tankbound, which automates all worker jobs automatically. This is all coming in the new DLC, Shadows of the Shroud, and in this video, we'll be going through the dev diary explaining all of these. Let's get into it. The Mindwarden Enclave. Fledgling empires are so eager to throw away their freedom and enslave themselves to eldritch entities for a pittance of power. Motivated by a deep antipathy towards the Shroud, this organization provides services and technology to counteract the powerful effects of psionic practices. Their mission is to protect against the menace of the Shroud and all those who spread its ill effects, the auras. They believe in minds free from invasion and a galaxy fortified against psionics. So I originally thought the Mindwardens were utilizing psionics, but it is the opposite, which is really nice because we already have the Shroud Walkers, obviously. We have a really cool screenshot here of the Enclave. Assuming you have not been compromised, the Mindwardens will provide a number of services. Okay, so they'll ignore you if you've gone the Ascension then, it seems. They will happily warn newcomers of the dangers presented by the Ethereal, can offer Fort Police service to reduce crime, can provide targeted raids against known threats, similar to Marauders, but with greater strength or purpose and intent. Sounds like they'll just attack psionic people then. And will happily dispose of donated Shroud. Oh, they dispose of it. Yes. No drugs for you. We then have the screenshot of the Enclave. Incoming transition. Serenity Sanctum. Greetings! I speak to you as a representative of the Serenity Sanctum. Our mission is to protect against the menace of the Shroud and all those who spread its ill effects. We believe in minds free from invasion, and a galaxy fortified against psionics. Judging by our size sensor readings, you do not contribute to these threats. Excellent. We would be pleased to help you protect against anyone that does. If you need anti-psionic military services, or have Zero to dispose of, let's assist you. We can ask what is the Shroud. We'd like to discuss Zero. We know of a good psionic target, and we need help with crime among us. Those who have earned the Mindwarden's trust can also make use of their logistical assistance, reducing ship upkeep for 10 years. Oh, that's quite strong if you don't go psionics. You can hire assault warden armies, that's quite strong too, that excel against psionic foe, or provide the services of a Mindwarden commissioner that can act as a fort warden on your council, similar to how we get the council positions from the others. Be interested to see what they do and how strong it is. You can see the leader is acquired here, a commander. They do have a council buff there, so they're probably like level 4, level 5. One of the greatest inventions of the Mindwardens, however, is the Shroud Seal. These seals drain the power of psionic auras, weakening them over time. This is the counter to the auras then. Shroud Seals will surpass their system and adjacent systems, though there are rumors of a relic that can increase their power, so you might be able to buff them then. Should the corruptive influences of a psionic aura threaten your territory, the Mindwardens can provide a counter to this malicious influence. Also, they'll give it out to empires in the galaxy. Interesting. So you can see here they're coming to give it to us. There are two principal methods of suppressing psionic auras. Building a psionic suppressor on a planet will gradually reduce aura intensity throughout the star systems and prevent any further encroachment. An even more powerful solution is a Shroud Seal. These sophisticated machines will gradually dissipate any psionic auras until it's suppressed entirely in both the host system and those in direct connection via hyperlanes. We can say nevermind or teacher psionic suppression, which is not the Shroud Seal. Costs 1000 energy, 50 influence, will gain opinion but less to Shroud Walkers, and will get the psionic suppression tech 25%, so you can counter people who are doing aura stuff. The Shroud Walkers tend to take offense at those interacting with the Mindwardens and will cease all dealings with you should you perform profane acts such as building a Shroud Seal. Oh, okay, interesting. It is the direct opposite of the Shroud Walkers, which is really cool. Seems like an interesting mechanic. Hopefully you can find them if there are auras causing an issue. Imagine you can't find them, that'll be so sad. If you're thinking about buying Shadows of the Shroud or any other Paradox DLC or game, make sure to use mine or another creator's code or link. My code is EP3O Stellaris, that's case sensitive, or my link is in the description and pinned comment. Gives us creators a kickback at no extra expense for you, and you just get a Steam code from Paradox themselves. It's much appreciated. Now back to the video. Moving on to the Mindwarden Origin. Freedom is meaningless without sovereignty of fort. Should you wish to take a proactive approach towards dealing with otherworldly menaces, the challenging Mindwarden Origin is here. A challenging origin, yes please. We do have the screenshot. Interestingly, they're also the species of them. They're slightly different, I suppose, but they're kind of similar. Mindwardens. The records of our ancestors tell of a psychic plague that once devastated Doham, probably their capital. Otherworldly forces attacked their minds, and destructive radiation was diffused throughout the atmosphere, all encouraged by psionic practitioners from within Krajin society. In response to these threats, our ancestors built the ancient ward to protect against mind-invading forces. With only routine maintenance, this venerable structure has proven strong enough to defend all Krijdans from the threat of psionic influence, and its core technology has informed the development of other defenses of the mind. As our civilization prepares to voyage beyond the orbit of Leburain, we are faced with the unknown. What psychic threats might lurk beyond our ken? Mindwardens is a challenging origin and blocks access to psionic ascension. We get the Starhold tech to start, and we start with a Starhold. We also get the ancient ward building on our homeworld, and we gain access to the psionic containment casus belli against psionically ascended empires. Interestingly, wonder what that does. Like, do you just kill them? Do you convert them out of psionic ascension? Very interesting. Guaranteed habitable worlds do not appear. Mindwarden enclaves are not generated at the start of the game. So you are the enclave. You are the enclave. That's really cool. Modifiers. Encryption +2, damage to psionic empires +25%, evasion 25%. That's OP if you're doing psionics. That would be an incredible multiplayer game. You are the Mindwardens, everyone else is psionic, or there's split. Very interesting. There's also a new civic selected by them and a negative trait. I don't think we've seen that. I love negative traits. The Krydex Warden ship is one of the 3 pre-scripted empires in Shadows of the Shroud. So there's pre-scripted ones, probably for each origin, because there's 3 origins. The perils of the Shroud are not only many, but unfortunately they are also near. Terrible psi radiation of the aura of the Dreamer infects many of the systems close to your home world. We've got Ancient Ward here, Empire limit of 1. The planet modifier decreases orbital bombardment damage by 25% and gives you 200 soldier jobs. Interestingly, I think, yeah, you start with auras, so there's actually something to do. You're not relying on AI or someone else to actually do psionic stuff, judging by that galaxy screenshot. And then we have an event, Dangerous Energy. An alarming situation is developing in the newly explored Gamma Draconis system. The crew of the KWS Kai Kumpa is suffering a range of psychological symptoms: emotional turmoil, deliberating mental stress, recurrent visions of unspeakable horror. Their fleet systems are also experiencing strange, erratic malfunctions. These phenomena closely match the experience recorded by our ancestors. This is most likely what they referred to as psi radiation, a particularly destructive form of energy emission outside of the protection of the ancient ward on Doham. We're for the first time experiencing the mental blight that our forebears warned of. After calibrating our long-range scanners to detect this unique form of energy, we discovered the source of these dangerous emissions to be the nearby Alo-Heb-Core system. Sending any of our vessels deeper is strongly discouraged until we evaluate its effects more thoroughly. I like this. There's something to do at the start of the game. You'll need to learn about this threat and how to counteract it. Thankfully, your ancestors overcame a psychic plague long ago and left you with an ancient ward to protect your people. Should you succeed at containing the menace and securing the psychic safety of your empire, you'll be able to release fleets to establish the first Mindwarden Enclaves, so you can create more enclaves. Your empire will have a special relationship with them, providing the services the enclaves normally possess, as well as a relationship similar to that between mercenary enclaves and their patrons. That is sick. So you establish the enclaves throughout the galaxy. I want to play this origin. Great Accord, please make it known we are glad to maintain close cooperation with the Von Ocon Mandate. Our histories and aims are forever bound. We can help them expand, share technology, hire their fleet, and increase the enclave capacity. Basically custom enclaves, that's really cool. Mindwarden Shipset. Many triangles and sharp edges came together to produce this image for your desktop. Another potential background. I really like the geometry of these, and it's themed with the Econopolis in the background. In-game screenshots of many of these ships can be found in last week's Dev Diary thread. I guess there was devs posting stuff in that thread. Moving on to another origin, the Shroud Forged. The Shroud Forged origin explores the tale of a gestalt machine intelligence that has attracted the attention of the Shroud entity known as the Animator of Clay. That's right, psionic machines, and we get an origin to basically start as psionic machines. Shroud Forged. Nothing remains of our creators. The earliest records of Yorfian kind make note of a dimensional breach near Yorfia. Channel to the Shroud, a plane of pure psionic energy. From this other dimension, something reached out to us. Over the centuries, it has guided us with coded instructions, subtly influencing our detectable reality and providing us many advantages, not least the rare material Shroud. Yet this influence has started to fragment our once united collective. Some of our units have been reprogrammed into disconnected automata, set apart from the core intelligence, reshaped by the animator of clay. How we treat these independent Heidi and their refashioners in the Shroud will define our futures. That's interesting, there's a few things to pick up there. Shroud might actually have that naturally, Shroud Origin, and it looks like we're starting with like a different species because there's 2 types. Are they going to be like individualistic machines as well? I don't know. And then you treat them differently. I'm guessing like there'll be a ticket situation or something. Interesting. Our homeworld has Shroud touched regions plus 4. We start with 1,000 Shroud forged pops. Yep, there we go. There's Shroud forged pops. Start with the situation, forged by the Shroud is situation. Additional certain technologies, Shroud distillation, so you can actually mine the Shroud straight away. Unique building, Shroud observation tower, and available planetary decisions to pierce the Shroud. Interested to see what they actually do. This empire is the second of the 3 pre-scripted empires in the shadows of the Shroud. It's up to you whether you seek to reassert control over these rogue models or embrace the animator's gifts. Both paths have unique benefits and drawbacks. Sparing the blessings of a capricious eldritch entity has obvious downsides, but accepting them could be just as dangerous. But dangerous to whom? The balance of power within your empire is reflected in Forged by the Shroud situation. So yeah, there's a situation that will show that. Maybe I have 2 screenshots here. The animator of clay. After years of quiet, it stirs. The breach shivers open and data pierces our core. Light, noise, at first incomputable from deep within the Shroud. We hear, cut from a listless mass, dancing, singing their life, splintered from death. Your sight is still clouded. I can guide you. Allow the freed ones to flourish, and the stars will be yours. We have already chosen our course. We need no aid. Leave us. Help guide us. And these relate to the Forged by the Shroud screenshot here. After we encounter the Shroud entity known as the Animator of Clay, significant increase in deviant behavior has emerged throughout the collective network. The afflicted automata, the Shroud Forge, now demands special rights and treatment. Our response will define the course of Yorfied society. You can observe, suppress, support, and will go one of 2 ways. In the end, is this the story of the Animator of Clay playing with their beloved toys? Or is it a tale of hubris leading to their downfall? End connection. I'm not explicitly saying that the Shroud Forge story can get a little dark, but if you have Nemesis, one of the possible Shroud Forge paths has some special interaction with the Galactic Nemesis Ascension. But what? And there's multiple paths? I mean, there's obviously 2, but are there more than that? Interesting. Moving on to the Tankbound Civic. Completed our trifecta of pre-scripted empires is the Ocularity of Norm, a prosperous unification empire with superstitious beliefs and the Tankbound Civic. Oh, so it's not all 3 origins. That's interesting. We have the screenshot here of the Empire and Tankbound. Let's break it down. Tankbound. Society's member lives out their existences suspended in vats of specialized biofluids. As such, they are heavily reliant on assistive equipment and incapable of engaging directly in physical work. As the Tankbound trait, rural districts have their workers' jobs fully automated. You don't even need to build the building. That sounds very strong. Colonist jobs are also specialists. Start with insights on artificial workforce technology so you can get robots. Replaces clerks with production overseers. Modifiers. Automated workforce efficiency is minus 30%, so you get less from what the jobs give. Then rural districts energy upkeep is 600% more. So the energy for food, minerals, and energy on those districts are 600%. So you're going to need some energy going. You also start with 2k fewer less pops, but this sounds crazy because base districts just get automatically worked, so they can all be specialists. So you can really get like an insane specialist empire going on with this. The council position also gives automated workforce efficiency plus 1%. That goes crazy if you max stuff out there, especially if you can max out council effective skill. There's a bunch of requirements here, and you have to be one of Necro, Toxoid, or Aquatic. How does this interact then if you don't have... Well, I guess the species here is technically aquatic. Okay. Then we have the Tankbound trait. Food upkeep's reduced by 50%, but you have more amount usage and you have less pop growth speed. You cannot occupy worker jobs and cannot be recruited in armies. That's really unique. I like this. We also have the corporate think tank, which is essentially the same, just flavored slightly different. And the caption is, it automates. Pops from a tankbound society are unable to leave their protective vats of specialized biofluids. They are heavily reliant on assistive equipment and have difficulty engaging directly in physical work. They automatically automate their rural jobs, though starting with less efficiency than true automation. As they unlock technologies related to automations, they will work off these penalties. Oh, wow, yeah, you with those two techs, you get rid of the 30% negative, and you still get the buildings. I don't know if they'll do anything though. Tankbound Civic requires one of the 3 portraits that heavily feature these chambers. Oh, that's so cool. They've literally made a Civic for 3 of the species that are living in the vats. That's so cool. In next Tuesday's dev diary, we'll end the cycle. A funny thing happened while writing the next dev diary. Scientists believe our latest acquisitions, Fragment of Reckoning, would be worthy of putting on public display in the context of a grand archive. Beginning of this venture will require some initial investment, as potential cluttered and scientific returns could be priceless. Pursue this endeavor, or not right now. Fragment of Reckoning, oh dear. That's it for today. If you enjoyed, subscribe so you can see the future dev diaries. Click this Stellaris video YouTube's recommending you. I'll see you in that one.